What's up, gamers? Today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I get asked most frequently asked questions, if you will, because I get a lot of questions from fans, both in person and in my inboxes, and I felt like this would be the best way to answer them. So first I'm going to start with kind of a basic one, but I do get asked this question a lot. How did you start cosplaying? So it's kind of like a long story, but I feel like I've just always really loved dressing up. I was the kid who took Halloween extremely seriously, and in middle school I cosplayed from Lord of the Rings for Halloween. I didn't know what cosplay was, but that's what I was doing. And then kind of as I got older and into high school, I really loved Spirit Week, and just like any excuse to dress up, I was there. And then after high school, I went to a convention with one of my friends for the first time. I went to MegaCon a long time ago at this point, and I saw all the other cosplayers there, and I was so excited that this was something that people did and that I could like find a community and make friends and do this more often. And my first like cosplay thing that I tried, I wanted to cosplay Diana from League of Legends, so I did a makeup test of her, and at this time I was on Reddit and I posted my makeup tests to like the League of Legends subreddit, and it ended up hitting the front page of Reddit back in the day, and that was really cool. And I got really excited, and people were like, you need to finish the rest of this cosplay. So I did, and it was really bad, but that was my first cosplay, and it was kind of just over from there. Like, I remember after my first time going to MegaCon wearing a costume, I was like, when's the next convention? What's the next thing I can go to? Like, the addiction really took hold. Next question that I get asked pretty frequently is, how old are you? And I am years old. I hope that answers your question. What keeps me inspired to keep cosplaying? For the most part, it would be the community and my friends. I really love to cosplay with my friends and to collaborate and do things together. It's much more fun than cosplaying on your own. I feel like at this point in my career, I've been cosplaying for 10 years now, and I have cosplayed a lot of my like holy grail characters. There's still a few left, but I really like to find new things to cosplay and things that I feel like I could bring a fresh spin to. And that's kind of what keeps me motivated. Another question I get asked a lot is that your real hair? The answer is no. I have extensions, but it's mostly my real hair, so it's kind of yes and no. I wear K-tip extensions, and obviously my hair is dyed, and I have to redo the color about every 6 weeks and the extensions every 3 to 4 months. This next question I get asked literally all the time, and I actually kind of dislike this question because it puts me on the spot and I don't really know how to answer it, but people come up to me all the time at my booth at conventions, or they'll ask me in my DMs or wherever they can message me, what is your favorite cosplay? And maybe I would have had an answer for this like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but after 10 years, I don't know if I can pick one that would be my favorite cosplay. There's definitely some favorites, plural, but I like all of them for different reasons, and it's really hard to choose because every time I'm doing something new, I'm most excited about that thing. So sometimes it'll just be the thing I'm doing right now is my favorite. And sometimes my answer will be, oh, it's this armor cosplay that I worked on really hard because it took so much time. But it's a hard question to answer because I just love cosplaying in general so much. Picking a favorite is almost impossible for me. Next question I get asked a lot is, how do I divide my time between making cosplays, taking photos, and marketing my wares, if you will, my photos, my social media, all that stuff? And the answer is badly. It's really hard to do all of these things at once. I feel like cosplay gets overlooked for how complicated and how many moving parts it is. If you do this for a living and if you're taking it seriously and take on more and more things like having a print inventory and a booth at conventions and a media kit or, press kit for doing sponsored work, as well as just making the cosplays and then having time to then release them and talk about them as you're rolling them out. It's really difficult. It's something that I try to improve on all the time, but it is a struggle and it's hard to stay organized sometimes. I also get asked a lot about tips for getting started if you want to start cosplaying, if you're new to cosplay, and sort of where to jump in. And honestly, I think that now is the easiest time to get started in cosplay that there's ever been, because this has grown into such a big industry that there are so many beautiful ready-made costumes, as well as artists out there who make their living off of commissioning costumes for you. So if you're intimidated by the creation process, there's no shame in buying costumes. I do it all the time. Or commissioning an artist, that's also really cool. And if you are determined to make it yourself and get into the crafting aspect of it, there's also so many amazing resources out there. A lot of creators make their whole brand off of showing you their creative process. So I feel like you just kind of have to pick a character and dive in. Okay, we're getting to the end, but this is also a question that I get asked so often, and that is, what camera do you use? So what camera I use is kind of a long answer, but basically
Canon C400 and Canon R5 Mark II.
I really hope that that answers your question because it's something that I get asked all the time. Last question is plans for the future. What do I hope to achieve in cosplay going forward? And I would really like to bring more innovation to cosplay. I would really like to start doing some new things that I've not seen before that might be kind of risky, like making maybe some physical products that are new and different, or photo book type stuff that I've seen before, but I really want to take my spin on it. And I would like to expand and reach some new audiences and just sort of double down on some things that I've decided are important to me, like the artistic bigger picture of the photo shoots and video production for my cosplays, and just kind of see how far I can go and how much I can push the artistry aspect of it outside of just crafting. And that's all the questions. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments. See you next time.